Thank you so much, Dan, for joining me. I'm so excited to talk to you. Today, we're talking about Fantastic Beasts, which I'm a huge Wizarding World fan, and I love the brand new chapter in the franchise, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Tell me about what it's like to, first of all, just be in this Wizarding world.
Yeah, it's surreal, man. It's like, it's this global phenomenon, and I got to be in Hogwarts in this one,
Right.
and yeah, that's when I really realized, like, whoa, we are in the Wizarding world right now, man. Because I got two little girls, 10 and 6, and they're getting into the Harry Potter movies, and you see those first movies when they're in, the Great Hall, and they're getting the Sorting Hat and the different houses, and that reminds me when I was a kid, and the nostalgia of like going to sleepaway camp and color war and all that. And so when I was sitting there at Hogwarts, it was just, you get chills.
Mm.
You're like, it's still very, old romantic Hollywood to me. It's like big sets, and so it's real magic. That's what it is.
I love that. And you were talking about your girls. It's funny because when Harry Potter came out, the first book, and I guess the movies too, the first movies, I was at that age where I'm like, no, that's weird and nerdy, and I'm not going to read that. And now I'm like, I'm a Hufflepuff, and here's my wand, and it's like it's so ridiculous that I've just fallen in love with this world because it for me anyway, it is magical and fantastical, and there's this whole world built out that you really just escape into. And I love that you said it perfectly, that it's also got that old Hollywood magic of, you're not shooting on and this is nothing against the Mandalorian or anything, but that like 360 thing where your entire set for the whole season is that. So I love that it has all of these different elements both in front of and behind the camera.
Those practical effects are that's some of the best stuff,
Right. Oh yeah.
You reach like off on a bookshelf and you pull a book out and you expect it to just be blank, but it's like filled with some story, that
right.
the prop department came up with. You're just surrounded by geniuses.
Yeah, for sure. And Jacob, I mean, what a great character. I absolutely love the character, and your portrayal of him is just perfect. Did you, starting out, with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, did you have any idea of where the story was going to go? And the reason I asked that is because I would assume as an actor, it could be helpful or influence your performance in some way if you kind of know where the arc is leading.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that we were, signed on for 5 movies, and I was on the first movie, sat down. JK would sit down with us and give us a bit of a clue as to where our characters were headed, and she laid out this incredible story, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. And then literally by the next by Crimes of Grindelwald, everything had changed.
Right, of course.
What the hell? So I didn't. Certain things that she told me that were really helpful were that Jacob reminded her of Ron. And I was like, oh, that's great, because Ron gets to do everything. He gets to be a clown. He gets to, he gets the girl. He gets to play the dramatic parts, and he gets a full spectrum to do. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And then I assumed that Jacob was a Hufflepuff because he's a baker. And JK said, no, he's Gryffindor because he's a soldier. And I thought, so these were great little clues as to how to play him. And it makes a lot of sense when he's this, he's just a muggle. He doesn't have magic, and he still takes the orders and he runs in and tries to get the job done like a good soldier, you know. So God willing, Merlin willing, we were able to do some more movies after this. I think you're going to see the potential of a massive wizarding war, just like nothing that we've ever seen before, where Dumbledore finally confronts Grindelwald, and somewhere in there, hopefully I'm a soldier, you know, running through the magical explosions, and I can't wait for that, man. You know, that's what I hope that we get to finally do.
Yeah, that would be amazing, and I'm you know, casting all sorts of spells to hope it happens.
Good, man.
So for you, when a lot of the work that you've had done up until Fantastic Beasts was, you know, character study-ish, you know, Balls of Fury was, I loved Balls of Fury, by the way.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have done some work, you know, along those lines, and then you come and do this big, giant, you know, multi-billion-dollar franchise. Was that intimidating to you for just because it's like two worlds away, you know? It seems to me anyway.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Like I had my second daughter coming into the world, and I needed a miracle. And I was in a slump, you know, at that time. I really wasn't getting a lot of work. I was directing my own stuff, and I wished on a star on New Year's. I said, please, I need a miracle. And there's a lot of, you know, cool franchises out there, some classy stuff going on out there. I would love to just be part of something. And I put that out into the world. Next thing I know, I like a month later, I got the audition for Fantastic Beasts, and I thought that it was a long shot. I was just happy to get the audition, and so after the whole rigmarole, and I finally, you know, all the testing and all the, you know, screen tests and everything, and they finally gave me the part. You know, I'm still like pinching myself. Like I am very much like Jacob, walking into this magical world, just in awe of it. And it shows. You know, Jacob is a fish out of water, and so yeah, man. I mean, it's like it's an absolute joy. Every time we get a new script, see what else I get to do. I had a blast on this last one. They gave me a lot to do. They gave me a wand.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's a joy. I grew up on Star Wars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like the franchise I had in the back of my mind when I was making that wish. But I'll tell you, when they handed me that wand, I was like, whoa, this is like I'm getting a lightsaber, man. I'm like, you know, it was very special. And so I hope in the future episodes I get to actually, you know, do more with the wand. That would be cool.
Yeah, I was rooting for you. I saw it in New York City with Warner Brothers, and I was, you know, I'm like in my seat, and I'm trying to be, you know, professional and not disturb other people, and I'm like inside, I'm like, whoa, you know, it's so great. And I just love, you know, for me, what Jacob represented was as a viewer stepping into this kind of crazy world. In the Harry Potter movies, it was very much we're placed into this world and it already exists and that sort of thing. With Fantastic Beasts, it really is accessible to this kind of adult version of, you know, this adulting part of the wizarding world, where for me, I was able to see what it's like to come into this through your eyes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think a lot of audiences relate to Jacob because I'm reacting how they would react in the situation.
Exactly.
Very much in awe. And then it's also fun to play as we go along, and he gets used to some of the magic that he plays maybe a little, you know, a little more nonplussed with it. And Which is why I'm hoping that in the next installments that maybe he starts to gain some confidence with the magic. Maybe for some reason, Dumbledore's got to give him some training, because like I always thought it would be cool if like Jacob and Queenie had a kid, and that kid is someone important, whether it's a bad guy or a good guy in the future, in the Potter, stories. I thought that would be interesting. And then you'd have all of these good and bad guys trying to control what happens to that kid, so that I would need some kind of defense training,
Yeah. Sounds like an
A
HBO.
boy can dream,
Sounds like an HBO Max series to
me.
Yeah.
On your lips, Merlin's ears.
Dan, thank you. You are so awesome. You're a joy to speak to. I absolutely love the films, and this Secrets of Dumbledore is just, takes us to new worlds, literally, new places, not just in the franchise, but or in the in the movies, but in the franchise as a whole. And I just loved every single second of it. And you are a huge highlight for me and for fans all around the world. So thank you for giving that to us.
Thank you, man. It's my pleasure. Yeah, check out The Offer. That's coming out soon.
Love The Offer. I love The Offer.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very proud of it. Proud of all this stuff.
And then you have grinding. What's it called? Grinding Light. You have a film about the record industry.
Grinding Light.
What is it?
That's what it should have been called. Spinning Gold.
Spinning Gold. There you go. Okay. This is why I don't do scripts. I can't remember things.
I like Grinding Light.
Sounds like a totally different movie.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a cool one, man. That's about Casablanca Records and Neil Bogart, his rise to fame as a record producer. I play Buck Reingold, his right-hand man. But man, it was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun making that movie. It takes place like this guy discovered Kiss. He discovered Parliament Funkadelic.
Wow. Donna Summer too, right?
Yeah, and then as they got into the disco era, Donna Summer, like all the major disco people, he collected them, and it was pretty impressive. And it's a great cast, great ensemble, a lot of great music, obviously. So hopefully that'll come out pretty soon. I think you'll dig it, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right up my alley, and I'll have the name right too. When do we know when that's coming out? Is that the fall or next year? Or?
I think it's coming out in the summer, but
in the summer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. We'll come back on the show and we'll talk all about that.
I will, and check out the Dan Fogler 40 Experience podcast. I interview a lot of the cast from the movies, and if you want more behind the scenes info.
Absolutely, and that I'm sure is available wherever you get your podcasts or on the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, hey, why not? Let's try it.
There you go. Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kyle.